Tolu, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
You're cute.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, we're all welcome. We're all welcome to this Agile20Reflect Festival review and this meetup. We're talking about Agile, the opportunities for Agile in Nigeria, and we want to welcome you. Agile is it's something that is not new in Nigeria, and we're hoping that our hope and our intention is to ensure that and to believe that we champion the movements, the adoption of Agile within the Nigerian working in space. So as we get into this session, as we get into this meetup, I want us to just fasten our seatbelts and get ready to learn new things and to see the opportunities in Nigeria and how Nigeria can adopt the Agile, mindset in their workings. Agile, it's a new thing, particularly in Nigeria. There's a lot of opportunities. So the essence of this meetup is to be able to identify this meetup and the opportunities that we can leverage on as a people. So you're welcome to this meetup. So thank you and stay tuned. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And who is going next? We have the agenda.
Aribi.
Hi, I just want to say thank you so much. One of the things that I'm very passionate about and Learntor is passionate about, which I'm grateful that I have the opportunity, the singular honor of being with this incredible team of people. Just purely the fact that Agile20Reflect has shown us the way to be agile and not just doing agile. So I have the best of team for Learntor Cohort 1. They are on call at the moment. And so the next item on the agenda is Caribbean. Everest is here. Who is going to go next? Please, let's follow the agenda. Do we have the agenda, guys? Hello? Everest, Caribbean, who is going next?
I think Everest is doing the introduction.
I know. Everest couldn't join, so Caribbean is supposed to be taking up his stead. Grace, would you do us the honor, some of the trustees that are on call, so that you can introduce them, please?
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Grace Johnson, and I'm with the Agile20Reflect. We have, you're all welcome. This is the Nigeria event, and we hope, we thank you actually for coming. I'll be introducing the trustees of the Agile20Reflect. Mercy is one of them. Mercy is the trustee of the Agile20Reflect. Sabrina Bruce, you're welcome. Sabrina is the head of marketing at the Agile20Reflect. Sorry. Okay. For now, these are the two we have. I'm also a trustee, so we welcome you to Agile20Reflect. You can always check us up at www.agile20reflect.org. You can find us on LinkedIn at the Agile20Reflect Festival, on Twitter at Agile20Reflect, and on Facebook at the Agile20Reflect Festival. Welcome. I'll be dropping them on the chat. Thank you. In the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. Indeed, the head of Red Team is actually on call as well. So thank you so much for being here. Yusuf, we really appreciate your presence. So I think the next item on the agenda is about the Agile20Reflect. So Grace, I'll make you a co-host. Are you making a presentation? I want to walk you through, when you hear Agile20Reflect, you need to understand the context to what we're saying, and Grace will do justice to that. Over to you, Grace.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Agile20Reflect is actually, it has become global. I'll call it a global community of Agilists. We welcome non-Agilists. We encourage them to adopt Agile. I will be briefly sharing a slide to explain or to introduce Agile20Reflect to all of us. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Like I said, you can find us on www.agile20reflect.org. We are actually in February of 21 will be 20th anniversary of the Agile Manifesto, and somebody thought, I think probably a random thought, and I felt it would be great to have a festival to gather Agilists from around the world to celebrate the 20th anniversary, to look back and see what we've done, and look forward to seeing, look at the present to see what we're actually doing and anticipate the future. So his name is Scott Seavright. He's not yet here, but I hope when he comes in, we'll introduce him and read a brief on him. Agile20Reflect has actually had a growing number of volunteers. We have a work group channel on Slack. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn. And what we've done is to bring Agilists from all around the world. We have a growing number of ambassadors true to our words, commitment, collaboration, community, having grassroots events to focus on Agile20Reflect. We want events from all around the world. So we came up with the idea of having ambassadors from almost every country in the world. We have a growing number of ambassadors currently. We're up to like 90, and ambassadors are coming up together with organizations, with their teams in their countries, are prepared for events. Some events are actually on the website calendar already to celebrate the 20th anniversary. We encourage events to be truly local, to be, when we say local, we mean you do events in your local language. You can do events around the story of Agile in your country. We really want events to be centered around the story of adoption in countries. We know that there are some countries of the world that have been there all from the beginning of Agile, and they have really grown and matured over the 20 years of the Agile Manifesto creation. But we have countries also, like places in Africa, places in Asia, that are also emerging in Agile. What we're trying to do is to have an Agile evangelism in those regions to bring them on board and encourage them to adopt Agile, because as we've seen in these countries that we've mentioned earlier, that I talked of earlier, countries in the West, they've had successes, and we now know that Agile can actually solve a lot of problems. Agile can is centered around respecting people, is centered around being customer-centric, is centered around collaboration rather than control. When you go through the Agile Manifesto, you can check it out at the Agile Manifesto on Google. It just pops up. Okay. Basically, the aim is to build bridges. When somebody is bringing a story from Asia and another is bringing a story from Africa, another is bringing a story from Northern Europe, you're building bridges already. You're trying to tell a story, you're trying to, create shared experiences, and that is truly powerful, because when people connect, when people network, there are limitless possibilities that can occur from such kind of connections and networking. Well, we have quite a number of principles. We have 9 principles of the Agile20Reflect. We want it to be distributed. We want it to be a distributed event around countries, around communities. We want you to go to those places where Agile have not really been heard. We want ambassadors to go and preach Agile. We want ambassadors to bring people on board. We want local events. And in doing that, we hope it's going to be truly global. Like I said, I've mentioned this quite a number of times. We want it to be truly local. I love whenever I go to the page on our website. Like I said, our website is www.agile20reflect.org, and I see it in Spanish. I'm really excited. The website is there to facilitate your events. It's there to allow you to show what Agile is in your countries and your region. We also want it to be community funded, right? So you can bring people on board, you can bring organizations on board, you can walk up to PMI, your local chapter PMI, you can walk up to your local Agile organizations, you can walk up to your meetups and speak to them about coming together, about collaborating and creating events that are going to be community-centered, community-funded. And so in doing that, you make sure that events are free. We want you to bring new voices, new ideas. We want it to also focus on we want more women on board. We have quite a number of ambassadors as women. We have a number of trustees as women. We have a number of women also leading circles in Agile20Reflect. So when you're talking of women representation, I think Agile20Reflect will be a reference point for the world pretty soon when it comes to women participation in the career. And we have quite a number of our patrons that are women, and that's gladdening to me. Okay, we also want you to spread the word, spread the word. You see, the Nigerian event also is community-centered, and it's what we're driving at. And we appreciate the local ambassador, Messi, for putting this together. We also want it to be, we want Agile20Reflect to actually create lasting friendships. And I can attest to the fact that being on the board of Agile20Reflect, working with people from across the world has created, in this short while, I've had relationships that I can look back at, and I'm really happy knowing that I met these people that have really taught me a lot, that we've had shared experiences, and the workflow has really been seamless. And that is what Agile20Reflect wants our ambassadors to, reflect in their various countries and communities. Let's have long-lasting friendship across regions in the country, across regions within your continent. And so let's create an opportunity to have a mass learning throughout the world. Okay, like I said, I would have loved to share. I would have loved, where you can always find us on www.agile20reflect.org, LinkedIn at Reflect Festival, Twitter at Agile20Reflect, Facebook at Agile20Reflect Festival. We have a lot of resources, a lot of videos that can explain. You can check us up on YouTube as well. Sorry, I didn't add our YouTube channel. It's also at Agile20Reflect. We have quite a number of videos that explains what we are doing, that explains what the Ambassador Network is doing, that explains what marketing, what organizational circles are doing. I mean, workflow, the workflow we've created in Agile20Reflect, I believe will be a reference to the world at large. It will be a point of reference for organizations, for countries, and I believe the event here in Nigeria will spark, would like to say, a revolution in the workspace. I truly pray so, and I hope our government, probably somebody somewhere is listening and would want to know more about Agile. So thank you for giving me the time to briefly introduce Agile20Reflect. Welcome to the Nigeria event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. Thank you so much. Can I just ask from the audience, do you have any questions for Grace with regards to what Agile20Reflect is all about, or how you can be part of the large community of Agilists? If you have any questions, we're happy to take 1 or 2 questions. And say that they're truly Agilists just because of their own mindedness.
Mercy, you're breaking up. We can't hear you.
I think we're supposed to guess what Mercy's saying now.
That's Nigeria's network challenge.
Hello. While we wait for Mercy to come on board, are there any questions? Okay, Mercy's back.
Grace, can I ask
Hello,
a question?
Mercy.
Grace, can I ask a question?
Yes. Hi, Yusuf.
Hello. My question is really simple. We've got so many fantastic people here on the call. I'm just interested in knowing, you've all got stories about Agile, you all have things you've done, things you've learned. How many of you guys are going to do events? That's the question really for everyone. Are you guys going to come forward and share your stories? Because that's the real thing about our festival, the real community that we want.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Go on, Grace, go on.
Did you get Yusuf's question?
Yes, we actually have like 7 events that is going to be locked in the calendar today, tomorrow. So Yusuf, I'm super excited. It's all about the Learntor cohorts. They're pairing themselves and they're telling their stories from the perspective of their new learning, new experience. So they are the fresh voices that will be speaking with regards to Agile20Reflect. I hope that answers the question.
That's exactly what we need. The more of a different perspective that we can get, the better it is. It's not old people like me, it's the fresh people that we really need.
And don't be shy
Exactly.
either. We're all doers. We've all got jobs. We're all agilists. Some of us have got many years of experience. Some of us have only got a few years of experience. So don't be shy. We're actually after the raw people physically doing the work. You don't have to have a big name here. None of you have probably ever heard of me, and I'm doing it. You know, I've got 7-8 years experience in it, and I'm so passionate about it. I use it in my day-to-day life, and I use it in a day-to-day job. And this is what we want to hear about. We want people to come forward and go, do you know what? Agile has made a difference for me, or I've only just started, and where can I go next? You know, and you can find it at Agile20Reflect. And this is where we're different compared to all the other areas. We are real people working to put this thing together, and we're real people with real experiences using multiple frameworks in different ways. And that's what we're all passionate about. But we're all normal. Don't be scared of us.
Well said.
Oh, and just to note, we're all around the world. It'd be interesting to see which areas everyone's from. So I'm in the UK, so I'm in the northeast of England. But I know we've got multiple people here, not just from Nigeria, but all other areas around the world. So it'd be quite interesting if anyone wants to raise a hand and kind of go, hey, I'm from here.
Karibi is in the banking sector. I think your story can inspire us. We were talking with Karibi about doing an event and focusing on agile transformation, how we can work in the banking sector in Nigeria. Karibi, what are your ideas? We could hear your experiences doing agile in your organization. Are you still here? Okay, Mercy. Oh, the connection.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't know. This is one of the things we need to fix in my country. Internet connectivity. It will be a real game changer. I'm about to scream just now, but my screaming won't help anybody. It will just give me headache. That's all. Anyway, so very quickly, I'm going to spotlight the 4 panelists, and they're going to speak with regards to as newbies and fresh voices for Agile. I'll be moderating the session. We're just going to have a conversation. We're going to have conversation for 20 minutes, and we'll give room. So we're having 3 panel conversation. And so we're about to jump into the first one, fresh voices. I love the background. Rosemary, which she's she's looking incredibly dashing. So let me try and spotlight you and spotlight, where is Rashid?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay. So Rashid, yes. So I'm going to spotlight you guys. Very quickly, I'm going to start with, what does Agile really mean to all of you? So that would be my generic question. If you can hear me, is Rosemary gone? Network. I told you, it's one thing we need to work on. Okay, right. She's okay. Fantastic. So, hear from you, Rosemary. What does Agile really mean to you? What does it mean to you? When you hear the word Agile, what does it mean to you?
Agile is the mindset. I think it goes way, way beyond that. It goes way beyond, looking at and also thinking about how to approach either your work through knowledge. So it's something that you should be ready to, have in you. So it's not just about, oh, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. It's about you, in you knowing that, okay, this is what I'm doing and I'm ready to do it. So you look at it and you think it through.
Awesome. So Rashid, what does Agile mean to you?
Wow, Agile is, for me, is an iterative way of working. Though I can say it's at the infancy stage in Nigeria today, but it is the future of work, really. So adopting Agile will help an organization or a team to, change things from the way they're doing, working iteratively, moving in sprints. All this will help. And one good thing I still appreciate about Agile is there is no hierarchy in Agile. Agile allows for innovative minds. It allows for everybody to bring what they have into the table, which will, at the end of the day, help, contribute to the growth of the business. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And so I'm going to ask Oyin, is she on call? Oyin, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. So what does Agile mean to you as well? And by the way, all of this, I didn't actually do an introduction. No thanks to feeling flustered. Rashid, Oyin, Rosemary, and John, they are all Learntor Cohort 1 participants. They are the freshest voices in Nigerian Agile environment. And I've seen them embody Agile in the true essence of what Agile represents. So their story is quite valid. So please just enjoy what they have to say. So Oyin, what does Agile mean to you?
Okay, thank you, Learntor. For me, Agile is a mindset, just like Rosemary said. Like, Agile cares about values, cares about principles, cares about cultures, that good communication and good working environment. For me, as an Agilist, I'll say I have to be innovative, I have to be adaptive, I have to respond to change, and I have to be transparent. It's more like I can say it's a way of life because it's a mindset, and we all have to adopt it, put it into our day-to-day activities, our businesses, our work, and everything we get our hands involved in. So for me, I'll just simply say Agile is a mindset.
Thank you so much. And John, you actually have the floor. Can you turn your video on, please?
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm John Olojede. For me, Agile is actually, I would say, is a framework, is a way of doing things that helps to build something that is complex in a bit-by-bit process. It involves doing things iteratively, like in bits, despite the fact that it's quite complex. When you build it bit by bit, you get to make faster progress that way, and in that way, you also you manage risk, and eventually you achieve more results through that. So you can actually use it in doing almost everyday activities. Like, other than using it to build software, where it started from, you can get to use it to do almost every kind of activity that you need to do to achieve things. So you also have certain tools that you can use in doing that, in organizing, in building your product or whatever you want to build. So you have certain software that comes with it that you get to use with it. So there are certain Agile tools that you can use. So I would say Agile is a way of doing things that helps to build complex products in bit by bit, iteratively. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. So I think that brings it to my next question, Rosemary. So how have you, as a fresh voice, applied Agile and where? It's not just how, but how have you done that and where?
Okay, I work in the human resources sector as a HR consultant, where I have different clients that I deal with, but most especially small businesses. So that is a good way for me to get them introduced to Agile. And I've got few of them that I'm actually, practicing the Agile way of working with, and, with the Agile mindset, for you to be able to adopt that mindset, you actually need to go through the Agile transformation. So you also need to teach the people you want them to adopt that Agile mindset. You have to teach them that that different learning framework, Agile framework, that they can use in order to better themselves or the work. And we all know that the most popular ones are the Scrum, Kanban, Lean, and probably the SAFe, which is used in the enterprise level. But for me, as a certified Scrum Master and PSM and CSM, I've adopted the Scrum way of working. So I'm trying to, gradually introduce that into the workspace of the clients I work with.
Fantastic. The same question to you, Rashid.
Okay, thank you. Been able to transit from the way I worked before. This training has really helped me think the way I do things. And, sometimes, I work for a conservative business, and I will not mention the name. But when I talk during meetings, technically, people do address me as strategic manager. Why? Because I talk, because I like to see the end from the beginning. So I've been able to incorporate all the lessons learned from Agile into my work. Though I work for a supply chain business, currently I'm a facility manager, but there are certain things that these skills, this way of working has really, make happen on my job. And even my teammates, some of them have started, following up with me in a way to assist them. Oh, Rashid, how did you know this? How did you get this? No, if I have not, if I just learned Agile, I'm not doing Agile, they will not see the transformation. And way they will have say, okay, they want to come, if people wants to if they copy what you're doing, it means you are getting some things right. If you are getting things wrong, nobody will look at it. So it has really helped my job as a facility manager. There are some things that I've been able to, incorporate into our facilities nationwide and even my team, because my job is not limited to facility management. I still manage some projects. I perform some logistic role because I plan routes for our haulage department, some Lagos routes with delivery. So all this, all what I've learned, the lessons I've learned, and the principle of Agile, the manifesto, has really helped me, to begin to, identify the gap in our system and, make everyone do what they are supposed to do at the right time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate that. And over to John. John, where are you? Can I see your face?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I've been able to apply Agile in what I do currently. Okay, for me, I'm currently running a master's degree program in the biomedical science course, and quite interesting to know that I'm actually handling my dissertation. So while I'm working on my research, it's really been wonderful that with the advent of the pandemic that limits information, the usual procedure in carrying out research in this kind of environment that I'm in is that you gather all that you need completely first, and you have everything fixed up before you can even kickstart your procedure. So with the understanding of Agile principles, it's been able to help me to just get things done while I know what I want to achieve and while I know the final end. while I have that in mind, I just gathering the information bit by bit and just doing what it is that what is necessary, what is most important, apparently that needs that I can build other things upon, like getting certain certain materials, ordering certain materials, then going to the lab to do certain things part time. So while I'm trying to do that, I just do things in bit by bit while I plan for others at a later time. So it has been able to help me undo my project without stress per se, and in such a way that eventually minimizing, it helped me to minimize my risk, minimize certain losses that could have occurred greatly. So having to understand Agile has really helped me to do things bit by bit in a very, and yet it's quite very fast for me that way. Why just do them in bits, what comes at a time, what needs to be done, what needs to be done, rather than trying to just do everything all at once together. So with that, Agile has really been so resourceful for me in that way. So I would say that's one of the way I've been applying it in recent time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Sincerely appreciate you. And Oyi, you're going to take the next question. And the next question, I want it to come from the audience that are participating. There are some people here, they've never heard the word Agile. As we know that Agile is just getting to the Nigerian market and learning it right. It's not as if people are not aware about Agile. It's the fact that they are just trying to learn it right. Because one thing that you guys have been exposed to is the fact that trainers from these organizations are the one that trained us. It wasn't an half-baked journey, it was a full holistic experience that you had with Learntor. So, Oyi, can you answer the last question? And I'm happy, anyone that wants to ask a question of this fresh voices that are Agilists, Nigerian Agilists, please do raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you can engage with them so that they can answer your question as well. Okay, over to you, Oyin. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the last question, sorry.
It's the same question everybody's answering, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, for me, I would say I work as a credit risk analyst for a bank, and unknown to me, when I joined the bank, I did not know they were already adopting Agile. Like, I don't understand how we work. I just know it's different from the normal way of working. Because as a fresh graduate from school, I know that, okay, you have to go to the office, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's totally different from what I know, what people tell me. So when after taking the training with Learntor, I got to understand that, okay, my company is actually adopting the Agile way of working. And with the experience I had, I was able to understand why we have a Scrum Master, why we have a product owner, why we have to do a daily stand-up. But unfortunately for me, my team is not fully into Agile, but we sometimes want to adopt it and sometimes we are going out of Agile. But the only way I've been able to apply all I've learned so far is every week I happen to be in a team of maybe 7 in a week. So every time every week when the list of the team is out, I always tell myself, okay, as an agilist, the first thing I'm supposed to do is I have to be self-organizing. I know I have to respond to change. I know I have to be very transparent in my team. So I apply everything I've learned I apply everything I've learned with my team and make sure that we do not fall out of the Agile way of working. So that's the only way I've been able to apply all I've learned in Agile. I do not have any other, I've not gotten so much opportunity to express myself, but the little way I have been able to apply it, I would say really fantastic. And I've been able to educate my team sometimes that, okay, you know what, we have to do this, we have to do that, because it gives our company more trust in us that yes, we are innovative and yes, we can adapt to change. So that's, for me, that's the only way I've been able to apply all I've learned in Agile.
Anyway, part of the rule for being an Agilist is the fact that, You have to focus. So I want to ask, does anybody have any question for this fresh voices? Because the next question that I want to ask all of you is, what do you think are the gaps? What do you think are the blockers for Nigeria or Nigerians embracing the mindset, especially the youth, the agile mindset, and the enormous opportunity? And by the time I go to the second panelist, they'll be able to expose the opportunities that we have in the agile space. So can you speak to the blocker that is impeding Nigerian youth embracing the agile mindset? Okay, there's a question there from, okay, what other way can agile be useful? Okay, in micro and medium. Who wants to take that response? Who wants to answer to that? In medium scale and micro economy, who wants to take that for SMEs?
Yeah, I can take that.
Not yet, Mary.
Okay, I thought you meant anybody. Okay.
So who wants to take that? The fresh one is how can an entrepreneur just use Learntor? That's your case study. What am I? Am I a big organization? So how have we been able to apply Agile to Learntor? So that's the question he wants to know.
Okay,
He's speaking from the point of, who is speaking?
John.
Fantastic. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, to start with, for micro, medium, and micro, small, and medium enterprise business, the first thing is in Agile, you are customer focused. So you prioritize your customers first. That
Whoa. So John is trying to speak to the number one value. Okay, the number one principle of the Agile mindset. John, are you there? Hello? Are you back?
Let me quickly come in. For every business, I think the goal is, to be able to deliver the outcome. That is, you should be able to satisfy the customer's needs. So that's where Agile actually comes in when it comes to small scale businesses. Everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to satisfy their customers to make money. So for them to be able to adopt that Agile, if I'm the Agilist, I should be able to make sure that I should be able to make sure that the goal is delivered, as in the desired outcome of the business is actually delivered. And that way you have to continue to learn, you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able, even in businesses, we know we are in an uncertain times, there is uncertainty. So one of the ways in which Agile can work is that uncertainty itself is the impediment, is the blocker. So once that is removed and we're able to deliver outcome, I think, small businesses can do well. So I don't know if that answers the question, and you should be able to, customers should be satisfied in that way.
Let me add to what.
Yes, go on.
So for me, small scale business can create an MVP, create a minimum viable product, then be collaborative, develop a collaborative culture. All this will help. Then you can create you are a small scale business. Don't be jack of all trade and be master of none. Have just a single product backlog. All this will help you to scale as a small scale business. Thank you.
Okay, so basically what Rosemary John has alluded to. Sorry, go on, John.
Okay, so in addition to what Rosemary and Rashid said, I felt it's very, very important that you as a business owner of MSME is the fact that you have to understand that you should respond to change very well. You should be a lover of change. You can't be an agilist without loving change. So, and in times like this, in fact, COVID-19 has taught every one of us to be lovers of change. So that would drive, as your customers try to drive what you do, then you yourself, no matter what your plan is, no matter what you desire, be ready to change, be flexible. So it's very, very important in designing your business model.
Okay, so one of the key areas, let me explain just a quick of a background, what Agile, how it came about. Number one, a group of people just felt we can come together and uncover better ways of work, just better ways, rather than do it the whole traditional way from end to end. We have to deliver this. So that's the focus of the Agile mindset. Okay, so what they have all alluded to right now is speaking, number one, to the value of Agile Manifesto, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. And the second one is the principle that they've actually taken is that our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. I mean, I didn't create a software. So let me speak as a Nigerian entrepreneur, if that helps to answer the question, because we're wrapping up this session. My business is Nigerian. I am in Nigeria, and I'm a Nigerian youth, especially. And using data to help inform every decision. All of these people, cohort one, they are all my customer. So I made sure they were involved in every single thing that Learntor needed to do as a small business. My priority was for them to be satisfied, making sure every valuable product or work or training or module that we're going to deliver was going to meet their needs. It wasn't from a solution mindset. They were part of the process. They imputed into every decision that we had to make. Their feedback was important. So that is what Agile does for you. Being able to work very cleverly in a very smart, iterative, using the word of Rashid, making sure you have a just singular product backlog and, oh, thank you, Nana. In one singular product backlog and making sure that your customer is number one. Don't try to be jack of all trade, which is what Africans do. Try to master one. I tried to do that, training children, training entrepreneur. I just knew I couldn't. I was going to break down. So I decided to focus on this, my singular customer, and it has yielded Learntor an astronomical result. I hope that answers your question sincerely. And so any last word, I'll take 1 second of your 1 or 2 seconds, you guys to say something, starting with Oyi. Say, I love your energy. Thank you. Yeah. Oyi, do you want to give it a go? We're wrapping up our panel for the first session. Hello? Okay, Rosemary, over to you.
For me, my last word is we just have to keep the conversation going, create more awareness in Nigeria because the market is very, very shallow, fertile. So there are great opportunities here if we can just, have that mindset, transform ourselves, and we'll do better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Oyi, over to you.
Okay, for me, I'd say that I think in Nigeria, we need to create more awareness, especially in the tertiary institutions, because the world is fast changing and Agile is here to stay. So we all need to be Agile, we all need to do Agile, and we all need to start thinking Agile. That's final.
Rashid?
Okay, so my last word for me, Agile is the future of work. And considering the kind of today's VUCA business environment I find ourselves, VUCA is an acronym for volatile, uncertainty, complex and ambiguous business environment I find ourselves. So for this reason, we just need to transit. In this country, there was a time that for financial sector, the extent to which you can spread branches, is the game changer. But now the pivotal role is to what extent can you respond to your customer needs? That is the differentiator now. So things has really changed. But we're in a way stuck because Nigeria now I can call us a kind of patriarchal or hierarchical nature. You have organs that they don't want you to read through. And sometimes when you talk, somebody will say, I'm talking, you are talking, and if you still want to keep your job, you still have to. So we have not really transit really. And again, our government are not really leveraging Agile. They are the highest employer of labor for over 200 million people. So if Agile will really work in Nigeria, it will start from public office that they have many employees. So this we translate to astronomical growth in the business space over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And John, any last words? Is it still here or is dropped off?
Okay.
Network.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. I said it's one thing I'm very, very sure that I would say is that it's I can boldly say that Nigerian youth are in themselves innately agile. Like it's brilliant to know that several Nigerian youth can adapt anywhere, and the thing is that we easily get to change with things. So that in itself is a plus for several Nigerian youth. They think that, but the limitations that could always be there is having to work within a team, having to understand how to cope in a team as an agilist. So this time around, when you're working as an agilist, you get to understand that you have to collaborate, the effort of collaboration. So we've got to learn more on how to collaborate with others and getting desired results. And then for in the general market space and for in Agile, there is really no boss. If I will use if I use that word, there is no boss. So everybody's at the same level, equal ground. So we've got to, that's the development team, we've got to recognize everyone as being equal. There's no boss. So in several workspaces, that culture needs to be taken note of. People should be conscious about that. There's decisions are not just made by one person, by the final boss. The teams collectively make decisions on what is good for them, what they think is workable for them. So that's very, very important. But I can say that we are agile in nature. That's in the Nigerian space.
I want to say one thing I need you guys to take note of for all of you that are on the call. Rashid came not knowing anything about Agile. But he doesn't just speak because he's read it in a book. He lives it. I can tell you that for sure. What we have produced, what we have created as an organization, it makes me so proud to hear what they've said and to see them live the agility mindset. They are product of cohort 1. It's not rocket science. Anybody, we are already agile in our mind. It's just adapting and learning where we fit in, So I want to say thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Onyi. Thank you, John. Thank you, Rashid. You really wowed me. And they are booking events. Cohort 1 students have 7 events coming up for this Agile20Reflect that will be locked this week. So be on the lookout and listen to them. Their life story, their journey will help you pivot what you have to do. We are here to change the narrative for Africans. I'm sure people listening to them, they would not know they just learned Agile 3 months ago. 3 months ago, not 20 years ago, not 10 years ago, but 3 months ago. So let's give them a virtual round of applause. If you can unmute yourself and you are proud of my students, let's applaud them. Applaud it.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Bravo,
Choma,
guys. Bravo.
thank you so much. Choma, the show is yours. We want to hear from Choma highlighting the gaps that is in Africa, the gaps in Africa. Is Choma here? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Choma Claire Kafo. I'm a data analyst, an agile enthusiast, and a Scrum Master, certified Scrum Master.
Yes.
So today we are going to be talking about, can you hear me?
Totally, clearly.
Okay, good. So today we're going to be talking about Nigeria, the gaps, and then how agile adoption can make a difference. As we all know, Nigeria is a country that is located in the western coast of Africa and is blessed with natural resources, with diverse people, with different cultures. And we have a population of over 200 million. And now we are ranked as the 3rd largest youth population. So that goes to tell you how well this country is, blessed with people. But now the surprising thing about it is
most of the units here are not working.
Okay, but the surprising thing about it now is that the rate at which we have adopted Agile is very, very, very low. Okay, Agile is still at the very baby stage. We are still head deep into waterfall system of doing things. You find the gaps in different sectors of Nigeria. You find the gap in the economic sector. You find gap in business sector, education, even the government itself. They're not just applying Agile and they're not being Agile. Now, when we have this kind of thing, you get to see a lot of people having large backlogs that they never get to, get the work done. You get to see people setting unrealistic estimates and then due dates, and at the end of the day, they don't get to meet up with those deadlines. You get to see people having meetings upon meetings which end up being ineffective and wasteful. You get to see that there is no visibility. We lack visibility in this country, in most organizations. When I say this country, I'm referring to all sectors. We lack, we have policy issues. So because when you start something, okay, when you're applying the normal waterfall, once you are done with the requirements at the early stage, you just carry through to the end. Meanwhile, we continue to have changes as things goes on. And now, because you do not have the Agile platform where you can always make changes when there are changes, you find out that at the end of the day, the quality of the product that you eventually have, it's really not what the customer wants. We have things like lack of focus. We don't really have focus most times because you find out that most times that multitasking, you find a team that are doing a lot of projects at the same time and there's no priority. Like you get to an organization and you're asking them, what are the projects you have? What are the priorities? The projects, what are their priorities? And they're just looking at you because they're doing everything at the same time, no priority, nothing whatsoever. And these are the various gaps that you get to see because the Agile methodology is not there. Now, what is Agile? The first panelist that already addressed us, they've kind of already given us an insight into what Agile is all about. For me, Agile is just a mindset. It can be adopted by anybody. It can be adopted by not managing your background, not managing your education. The important thing is that you understand the values, you understand the principles of Agile. When we talk of the values of Agile, we are referring to the respect, the focus, the commitment, the courage, the openness. Principles, time will not permit me to go into principles, but basically, Agile promotes simplicity, it promotes transparency, it promotes continuous planning, it promotes continuous delivery of working solutions, software, whatsoever, so that at the end of the day, you are sure you are, satisfying your customer.
Yes.
You are looking up your customers' demands and their needs, and that's very key. Now, another good thing about it is that Agile can be applied in Nigeria in different sectors. We have the public sector, we have the private sector. It can be applied even in large-scale businesses, medium, small scale, everywhere. It can even be applied in your own home. It all depends on what you want to achieve with that Agile and everything about it. So Agile is just a way of living. Now, the good thing about Agile, it tends to promote people's
what I want to say is, these people, my cohort 1, have a planned event, 7. Throughout January into February. You can see the passion. You can see where they're speaking from their guts, because they are not just doing Agile, they are being Agile. We have to respect time. It's part of being Agile. Timing, respecting time, it's very key in Agile. So let's keep focus on the time. It helps us to be focused. So I want to say thank you so much. That was really, really insightful. The data that you've given speaks to the fact that you're a true data analyst, and we have to carry on with the show. I want to say thank you. Let's give our virtual round of applause. Everybody on mute, and let's give her applause. So thank you so much, Shama. Honestly, I feel like a proud mama. I mean it. In every sense of it, I feel like a proud mama. So guys, if you're still new and still contemplating about what Agile really is, what Agile is not, these are people that just learned it 3 months ago. They started August 10th precisely. And you can go watch their testimonial on YouTube. So thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going into second panel conversation. these are not fresh voices, okay? So don't be fooled when they come in. These are experienced agilists. So I'm going to call on, because of time, I will not go into so much of the introduction. Padmini is somebody that reached out to me and interviewed me recently. She's a North American co-regional ambassador, the co-founder of Lean in Agile for Women, and she is an enterprise coach. So welcome on board. Padmini, are you here?
I'm here, Mercy. Thank you so much for having me here. Really looking forward to
Fantastic.
the conversations.
So let me just pin you straight up. Don't do that. I have to pin you, okay? So add to pin. Fantastic. So I'm going to bring on board my friend, my sister, a fellow Nigerian, but she's one of those diasporan, okay? She's not local, she's international. Mercy is local. Mary Lanion, she's an enterprise coach. So Mary, welcome on board to join this panel conversation. Is Mary here?
I am here. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to all our new voices. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much. And the last on this second panel conversation is Sunil Gulia. He's the West Asia Regional Ambassador. He is an Agile coach. He's a product owner. He's a Scrum Master, and he works with Qatar Airways, one of my favorite airlines ever. So, Sunil, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or some people, depending upon where you are.
Thank you so much. I need to start doing that, because we are all distributed in different locations.
It's 19 hours.
Now it's 7 in Nigeria. I'm sure, but what's the time there? 1 minute. What's the time there?
It's close to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It is 1 p.m.
Okay. What's the time? What's the time, Sunil?
You're breaking
It's
up.
9 p.m.
Okay, 2 hours away. My network. Oh God, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Right, perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for being on the call. I'm going to ask the same generic question, and it's going to go around to everyone. Then I'll now ask the audience to ask you questions that they would need to hear, because the goal is to create awareness for the Nigerian youth about the adoption of the Agile mindset. So thank you so much for honoring our invitation. So how can Nigerian youth leverage the Agile mindset? I won't ask what Agile is to you, because I know you will speak about it. How can Nigerian youth leverage Agile? So, oh, sugar, see what I'm saying? Now, it's not just a network. They've taken my lights. So I will have to be in the dark till I go on the journey. It's all right. It's one of those things, the beauty of our journey. So, but over to you, please.
Mercy, you broke up a little bit, but I believe you called on me, correct?
Yes, I called on you.
Okay, all right. So how can Nigerian youth leverage Agile?
Sorry,
and that's
to Grace. Grace, can you moderate this while I just quickly, once you ask the question, you pass on to the next. I'll on the gen, I'll be right back. My children are not home. Okay.
Okay.
Grace.
All right. So, and then this is a fantastic question, because I think there is so much for Nigerian youth and youth in general, in the world at large, who can leverage Agile. So I think, as most of you spoke here, it is the mindset, right? I think particularly for youth, it is about permission to fail, right? Giving themselves permission to fail. And Agile is all about failing fast, but learn the lessons and adopt those lessons to your next increment or next iteration. So, and then today, youth is so obsessed with success, and they're so impatient and intolerant in general because of the several distractions that are provided to them. Really no fault of theirs. So I think if they adopt the mindset of failing fast with an intention to have a positive experiment, not with carelessness, but to fail fast, but take the learnings and apply it to the next iteration or next set of experiments, to only, make it much more stronger. So I think there is a lot of learning based experimentation that the youth can do and leverage Agile in such a way that they can propel themselves into the future. And as we all know, they are the future of the country. They are the future of the generations to come. So if they can adopt this kind of learning mindset, and it's okay to fail, but I'm not going to give up kind of a mindset, I think that speaks volumes, because there is huge issue of self-identity and the identity crisis that we are seeing among the youth. So I think having the Agile principles come into their daily life and the way they function, not just in organizations, but with each other, impacting the community at large, will be so much more powerful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Padmini.
Thank you so much. And over to you. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Over to you, Mary. Then we'll go to Sunil.
Okay. Good evening again, everyone, once again. Yes, talking about leveraging the Agile way of working. Given that we're talking to our youths, and that most of them probably, with the exception of the ones that are here already, that have had the privilege of going through the training, my message to them would be, it's about learning agility. It's about personal agility for you. That would be your starting point, okay? Because the environment is changing, and it is changing really fast. And what organizations are looking for today, they are looking for people who can self-direct, okay? They're looking for people who can self-direct, because we have moved away from, the seller's market. We are now in the buyer's market, and the customer is king, okay? And if somebody actually made reference to the VUCA world. Now, before COVID came along, we had VUCA. Now with COVID in the equation, imagine the complexity we're talking about. So organizations are now really, really online. So which means they are operating with much more complexity. So if they're operating with much more complexity, then they need people who know what they are doing. They need people who can self-direct, who can push themselves, who can be innovative. Given the rate of change, when I talk about learning agility, what I'm saying is you have to be either at the pace of change or above the pace of change if you can. If you're below the pace of change, then you're going to be left behind. So when you think Agile, I want you to think learning agility and personal agility. How can I leverage emotional intelligence? Because I know we talk a lot about artificial intelligence, but you know what? Emotional intelligence and social intelligence are critical if you want to be an agilist, because Agile is people-driven. It is people-driven. So that would be my advice to you today. Think learning agility, think personal agility, emotional intelligence, social intelligence. And these are content you can start to digest online. Because one of the things you would also hear from our youth is, there's no money to do this, there's no money to do that. And I can empathize with that. But a lot of our youths are also online. They have access to digital. So if you have access to digital and you want to leverage, the Agile way of thinking and being, then there's a whole lot you can do on your own before you even engage anybody to teach you anything. There's a whole lot you can do on your own. Go online. There are resources. There are communities you can join to start, learning Agile, to start, embracing that Agile way of being. So given that we're talking about newbies, I believe this is the best message I can put out there. How can you leverage this? How can you come in? What is the entry point for you? I hope that helps. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was really super succinct. And in your words, truly, Nigerian youth are heavy online. According to Google Insights, they are not learning, and that is the gap. It's not just being online. It's the fact that what are you doing online? How can you change your story? How can you benefit yourself? and know that I spend most of my money binge watching entertainment, playing games, or whatever it is. Just learning this, the opportunity within the agile space will blow your mind. And really, you don't have to have an MBA, you don't have to have an MSc. Nobody cares. You all need to have the mindset and understand how it means to work within a team. So thank you so much. Sunil?
Can I just throw this in? Since
let Sunil go through. Sunil,
okay, sorry.
I will come back to you.
No problem.
No worry, Mary, give your message. That's quite fine. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Sunil. What I just wanted to throw in, just in line with what Mercy had just said also. I put out a post a few weeks ago on LinkedIn, and this was what I said. Because in Nigeria, I mean, everywhere in the world, we pay for data, right? We pay for data. And I said, if you pay for data and you exhaust your data, and by the time you exhaust your data, you have learned nothing new online, for me, that is synonymous to paying for tuition and not attending classes. And I want you to think about that as a youth. I really, really want you to think deeply about that as a youth. Because when you go into organizations today, you have to be self-directed. So think about that. So that's something for you to take away. Thank you, Mercy.
Thank you. And Sunil.
Thanks, Mary. I believe you put it very well way. The thing is, today when I see about Agile, I see that Agile is nothing but Mother Nature has made us Agile by default. When I was kid, I was very committed to my friends in playing. I was very focused on what we were doing. And I always had courage to fail, learn from there. And I respected everyone, my family, friends, even the unknown people. But how things happen is as we start growing, we start adaptations of someone other's styles. And that is command and control. I see a huge gap today. When we come to office, suddenly we forget everything outside. We leave the agility outside. And then we start taking order from someone else. Even from small to small things, we start looking for managers. Even after 20 years of Agile, I see a big vacuum today. What is that vacuum? When we talk about product ownership, does we put ourselves in shoes of customer? I see people asking how I can make money, how I can make our company growing. And there are thousands of books written for this, how to be successful, how you grow rich. I don't see any book which says how to make others successful. I don't see any book which says how to help others. And for me, if you really want to be a successful business person, think about who are your customers? What are their pain points? How your product is going to help them? I see that vacuum today. When I talk about leaders, if I go in 1492, I see Agile leader Christopher Columbus, who didn't make huge plan. If he keep on doing planning, he will never travel. He started from Spain, Portugal, and then went to West. That was Agile mindset. That was Agile journey. And today, I see gap of that Agile leadership. But when I see Agile leader, it is growing leader in everyone else. I see today people want to create follower. If I'm creating follower, then I'm not Agile leader. If I'm raising leadership in everyone, then I will say I'm a true leader. I don't need a tag Agile leadership, right? So I see that gap. So where are those change agents? I call them change agent, not the Scrum Master, because they bring change to the organization, to the customer, to the team. They ensure how effective we are delivering value to customers, how effectively we are giving return on investment to sponsors, and how effectively we are making our team happy. And trust me, for me, I will see agility and how any person and how Nigerian youth can get benefit is fill this vacuum by being those change agents, by filling the vacuum of product ownership, by filling the vacuum of being a right development team member. And that is where we get success. Remember, not I, we get success, because it's all about team. And that is all about agility. So it's about just being human first, bring the humility, never leave that. Second, always be hunger to learn more. Crave for something new every day. Learn from children. And third, I will add is be smart. Not smart about wearing clothes, not smart about doing makeup. Be smart about where I'm working, what value I'm to add. So to sum it up, simple, keep the humility up, be hunger to learn every day, and be smart to be in touch with people. Treat everyone, people as a people first. That is the only message I will give.
Thank you. You see, when professionals are speaking, it's different from freshers like myself and the cohort one. So I'd like to put it in the group. Who would like to ask them a question? Then I ask from the point that Mary raised, if you're burning money on data and you are not learning anything, you need to think about deeply what Mary has said. If you have spent 1,000, there must be something that you have taken away that is valuable learning for you. And YouTube should be your best friend. Any question for Padmini or Mary or Sunil before I go to the next question? Any questions for them? If you have any question, you can raise your hand and you can speak to them directly, or you type it in the chat. Anybody with a question? Okay, so Mary, I'm going to come to you now. This is very important. Looking at the complexity of Nigeria, we know our education system has failed us, definitely, because we produce graduates that will come out of school, they will not get a job. How can we promote agility? Oh, somebody has raised their hand. Femi, Olufemi, you can speak, yes? Oh, he's not raising his hand. Okay, how can we encourage the Agile as a training, maybe at the grassroots level, right? How can we push this narrative of the Agile mindset adoption to our school, starting from the tertiary? We need to start from the secondary, but let's just say from the university level, because they come out from school, they're unable to have that competitive edge with their peers. What would you like to add to that for me?
Yes, Mercy, that is long overdue. And improving the education sector, especially at the tertiary level, in fact, all the levels, has been a subject of conversation for a while now, even pre-Agile, movement. Because our educational system, the syllabus, if you like, their way of teaching is not moving fast enough. So like you said, our graduates are being churned out, but they are not employable, okay? There's a disconnect between what the industry is looking for in terms of employability and what universities are churning out. And that just goes to show that when there's no collaboration, when there's no focus, when there's no objective of what exactly do we need for, to be churning out in terms of our graduates, and at a time like this, given this is the 21st century. Now, as an Agile coach, I know for a fact that you can't have any transformation without, leadership buy-in. So the first place to start will be to convince leadership in these institutions that, you know what, about time we started doing things differently. We need to be much more competitive as a nation, and we are not empowering our, our graduates to be able to compete on a global level, especially now that, we're talking about a global world. Somebody can be in Lagos and you're working for a company in Chicago. I mean, I just kicked off a Scrum team in Arizona 3 months ago. And out of the 8 developers in that team, 5 of them are from Nigeria. Okay. Now, those 5 developers in Nigeria, they are self-driven. That's why they could take advantage of that opportunity. Exactly. They were self-driven. It wasn't the vice chancellor of one university that created that opportunity for them. Okay. So yes, we are going to, create opportunities to talk to leadership, to let them realize that things are moving on and they have to, get with the program, so to speak. Okay. But we need our youth to, actually take charge. We need you to take charge. But coming back to what you said, Mercy, we just need to get leadership involved. That's the starting point. You and I know nothing will happen if that doesn't happen. So talking to the right people, talking to the influencers in the education sector, both at the state and federal level, will be, a good place to start, in my opinion.
Thank you so much. That's so apt. Without the buying of the leaders, we can't do nothing about it. Padmini, what would you like to add?
I really want to go back to the initial comment you made, Mercy, about, Nigerians in general. Well, I don't know a whole lot of, the mindset or culture yet, right? Mercy, I hope to learn from you and Grace and others more and more. But I think one comment you made was, that you chase too many things at a time, right? And that really struck me because, the fundamental aspect of Agile is stop starting, start finishing.
Yeah.
Right? So you could have a huge backlog, and all of us must. It's okay, right? It could comprise of dreams, aspirations, and to do certain things, certifications, or chasing degrees, whatever that might be. That's totally fine. Just like your product backlog, let it just remain in your backlog and move only the chunks that you can complete in a set period of time. It could be a day, week, month, however you want to iterate. What that does is it will slowly burn down your backlog, slowly but surely, but also you're applying the learnings from the current, current work, current product that you're working on to something else that you're bringing from the backlog. It is also about, again, another value of Agile, right? Art of maximizing the things not done. And as human beings, we have this instinct that if you see so many things in your backlog, you get anxious. You want to pull them from all directions and then put everything in progress. You feel better. You think, you assume you're doing them, but actually you're not doing anything. All that you're doing is to put everything in progress, getting anxious each morning. You look at them when you wake up and end up not doing anything because you're overworked. Instead, getting the Agile principle to, and that is why the mindset, everybody here is talking about the mindset, because mindset is not a switch, right, that you can just switch on. It is an understanding of how things are done in an efficient way, in a collaborative way. So, have an accountability partner. As youth, you have so many friends. Instead of, Mercy, as you said, binge watching together, make each other accountability partners. Hey, friend, I have 2 things to accomplish in the next 3 weeks. I'm going to make you my accountability partner. Will you be my true friend and check on me every other day, how I'm doing? And I'll do the same to you. So, binge watch or not, we are being accountability partners to each other. That is how we motivate each other. That is how we are there for each other as friends. And I think the generation of youth really needs that accountability. What we are lacking is the accountability. Nobody to question and nobody to really check in. And, there is no, community, aspect there. So I think those are some of the things I would say, stop starting, start finishing today.
Thank you. We have to wrap up this session in the next 3 minutes because I'm very mindful. As Agilists, we're not just doing Agile, we are Agile. I have to respect time. So Sunil, although Rashid has a question, I'll take your question after the second panel, the last panel conversation. Yes, Sunil, over to you. How can we, what advice would you have for us to be able to adapt Agile in our tertiary institution?
I will simply say, just be pragmatic. Don't just go by theory. Bring your ideas, implement those, and then learn from there. Because it's all about learning, doing, relearning, and learning again. That is what message I will give. Let's just keep on doing small, small things. Just inspect, adapt continuously. And every day, make sure you have continuous improvement. Even if that improvement is small, do that improvement in yourself or within your team or with your family also. That is the only message I will give.
Thank you so much. I really want to say thank you for being part of the panel conversation. I'm sure it's been a great learning. I can't wait for the next 7 sessions that the Learntor cohort 1 will be having, and just continue engaging in conversation, because it's just about the conversation. I mean, the fact that you said stop starting, start finishing. The reason we always stop to start, they call it hustler. It's the hustler spirit. Nigerians are hustlers. They start this one, no, it doesn't work. I start this one. There's no lessons learned. We're not taking on board the feedback loop. What can we change? What can we not change? So I want to say thank you, Padmini, for honoring this interview and being part of the conversation. Mary, I want to say thank you for taking time of your valuable time to be part of this conversation. It means everything. Sunil, I know that the time is not convenient. I sincerely appreciate you guys for being part. It doesn't end here. I'm going to call you guys again. We're going to have this conversation. But one thing I will not do is lump 12 speakers into 2 hours. It's too short. So it's a good lesson for me.
Say thank you. Thank you to you, Mercy, and everybody here. It's been a wonderful learning experience. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Any words, Mary? 2 seconds.
Welcome to the community. It's a beautiful place to be, an absolute beautiful place to be. So you will get all the help you need. Trust me, you're not going to be short of help.
Thank you so much, Mary. And Sunil, any last words?
Be happy, guys. Happy people be successful. Trust me, be happy.
Thank you. I try to be happy. Thank you so much, Sunil. And over to you, Talisha, before I call on the next panelist to join the conversation today. Talisha, you there?
Yes.
Talisha? Awesome.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Talisha. I'm also one of the cohort 1 participants. And what I have to say about Learntor is it's good and it's amazing. It was a challenge. I too came in not knowing anything about Agile or Scrum. I had no idea what it was, what it meant, the who, what, and the how. I had no idea. In the beginning of class, it was a challenge due to some of the language barriers and not knowing. I'm one of a student who don't like to study. So, but with Agile or learning about Agile, you have to study. And the way I got through it was building relationships with the other students in of cohort 1. And what we did was together, we became a family. We leaned on one another. When someone didn't understand, another student did. And we would have our classes, and sometimes we would meet on a Saturday or Sunday to get a better understanding of Agile or whether it was GDPR or whether it was Power BI, Scrum, we worked together. Oh, there was a lot of barriers, there was a lot of blockage, but together we broke those barriers down. And with the help of Learntor, she allowed that. She, gave us the platform to do what we needed to do to get through it. Not only did Learntor allow us, so it was also the facilitators. It was also Prince Kool-Aid, Deji, Harry, and Yabo. Those guys are some phenomenal facilitators. They taught very well. They taught us very well. Even today, they still here for us. Any questions that we have, they still here. They still teaching us, especially with Kool-Aid and Deji and Harry and Yabo. Whatever questions we may have, they don't ask. It's not about the money. It's about learning. And I'm grateful for that. And with Mercy, not only is she bridging the gap, she built the bridge to bridge the gap.
Oh,
She's not only, she's continental worldwide. The 7 continents, she bridged the gaps with all 7 continents. With this Agile 2020 Reflect, from Africa to the UK to the US to Canada to all continents, Asia, just all around, she bridged that gap. She did a very good job. And I'm learning and I'm meeting new people. She let us network. She let us in on a lot of things. She got us into the Agile 2020 Reflect, which I'm still learning. Like now, she said we have to create an event. I'm still learning. So,
you'll be all right.
With that being said, I just want to thank Learntor for giving me the opportunity to work with her and to learn Scrum and to learn Agile, which we have a long way to go. Yep, I think it was a month today we complete class, but we still learning. We have more to learn, and with the subject matter experts like Mary and Sunsil, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the names right, Sunil.
It's okay.
With you guys and Scott and the others, we thank you. Thank you very
so
much.
Alicia. Thank you. Thank you so much. And this is the time for me to call the last panelist to have the conversation. Because of time, I'm still making sure that we're focused on the time is key. And that's part of the Agile mindset, start to finish. Don't just start. We have to start and finish. So on the first for me to call, I'd like to call Pete or Motor Show. I like the word Tanisha used. Continental. Pete Motor Show is an enterprise coach. He's far away in Australia, but he's a Nigerian that has the heart of Agile in his heart. And right now, I think it's about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in Australia, but he's been on this call since so that he can lend his expertise. He's an enterprise coach. So Pete, are you here? Can you say hi so I can pin you to the call? Yeah.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning here from down under. It's really pretty early over here in Australia. And good evening to you, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I am really very sold out to the, agile development in my country of birth. I may be far away, but I'm close.
Let me bring everybody. Abigail, are you here? Can you say hi? She is a senior project manager. She is in Nepal, and I'm honored to have her on call. Are you here? Do you want to say hi?
Yes, Mercy. Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Good evening, and I think it's good morning for me because it's midnight.
Whoa.
It's 12, 12:15, in fact. And I love
Sorry.
being here, and I'm really enjoying the talks, and it's been very, very insightful. So thank you, Mercy, for having me.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to call on, you see, like, I love the word. Talisha was in the spirit when she said it, yeah? This is Australia, Nepal. I'm calling Canada now. So Jatin is joining us from Canada, Ontario, Canada, Senior Director and an Enterprise Agile Coach. Do you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. This is Jatin. I am the ambassador for Canada as well as, so we have extreme people over here, people from Australia. P, on the other side of me, I'm on the extreme western side of you. So hi over there. Can you see me, Mercy?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Oh my God, Sabrina is going to kill me, yeah? Oh my God, Sabrina, you have to forgive me. I think because I took my lights, I just totally got discombobulated, totally. I'm gonna add you on this panel conversation. So please welcome my friend that I missed on the second panel conversation. Sabrina, I am so sorry, Sabrina Bruce.
Don't worry about it. I'm enjoying it, my darling. I don't mind sitting in the background. You know me.
No, I'd like you to join this conversation. I'm sure because it took the light. I don't know how I missed that, you know? So I'm going to add you to this panel conversation. So thank you. You guys, you're going to excuse me for like extra 10 minutes. I'm going to now call on Jack Mohammed, is the regional Northern Europe ambassador for Agile20Reflect. He's a Scrum Master and he works with NatWest. Sabrina is a senior Agile coach and she's the lead marketing for the Agile20Reflect. So Jack, do you want to say hi, please?
Hi, Mercy. Hi, all. Really excited to be here. I've been sitting and listening in eagerly, hearing some real great conversation. Just enjoying it, and now excited to actually be part of it.
Thank you so much. Sabrina, my sincere apology. You know, as Agilists, we adapt, right? We adapt. I'm so sorry. Okay, now over to the next conversation. So now we are talking about the current state of Agile, the present state. And remember that we're trying to target our youth. How can they adopt Agile? Please, someone should help me with the Agile social media. Please, Grace, can you drop it? Jimson would like to learn more about it. Please drop the social handle, or anyone that is on call, please help me to drop it. So we are focused right now on the current state of the Agile adoption. And one of the key areas that I want to talk about, you know, a lot of people think, I think it was Pete that actually raised this. Everybody think that Agile is a silver bullet. It just heals everything. So I'm going to start on that note because we have talked about the successes, what Agile is capable of doing. Let's talk about some of the failures and why it's not a one jacket fit all. So I'll start with Pete because you actually raised this. Then the same question is going to go around. So what are some of the, you can talk about the success because there's always good success about Agile and the failure, and emphasize that it's not a silver bullet. Why? It's key.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Definitely, it's not a silver bullet. So I have got a lot of instances and experiences where people say, yeah, we want to go Agile, especially leaders and everybody. Yeah, we want to go Agile. These are our problems, solve it for us. Now, I always start by saying, yep, Agile is not going to solve your problem. It's actually not going to solve any of your problem. You are going to use Agile to solve those problems. What is going to happen is Agile is not going to attack the problem and solve it, but it comes with a promise. And that promise is it's going to surface the problem. It's going to put the impediments into the surface and will now give the cross-functional teams that we have or the experts to work on it. Now, from my personal journey, I started there in Lagos far back as 2008 before I moved to Australia, and I've learned along the way. Now, one of the things that I have learned is in organizations, when you go there as a newbie, as an experienced Agile, no two Agile projects are the same. And when you go there, what happens is there are a lot of uh, uh, frameworks that you go to, for instance, and then you may need to pivot. You may need to kind of change because what you thought was going to work did not work. What you thought was the right framework was not the right framework, or you misinterpreted the problems, or you misinterpreted the opportunity that you are trying to harness. So agile project still fails, but we don't call it failure. We call it learnings. There are learnings. But these days, I can go to my based on my experience, based on what I've learned, should look at my scars and do some things and give advice, learn, teach, train, coach, mentor people to do the right thing. But this was not me 10 years ago. This was not me 8 years ago. So I can say that the failures are much more there actually, and the successes speaks for itself. But we will not be, and I can say everybody here, Mary, Sunil, Jack, everybody, we know that we become better by the scars that we have from those failures. We become better. So I think I'll just put it there. Agile is not a silver bullet. It doesn't solve all your problems. We have about 40 or more than 40 frameworks that we can call on in our toolbox, but they will really not solve your problem. You need to work together. And that is why we use all those principles. We use all those practices. We use all those mindset shift to really take us in the right direction. I'm very mindful of time, so I'll just drop it here. It
Thank you.
doesn't solve your problem. You have to work on it. You have to do it.
So I'm going to call on Jack. Jack, over to you. Same question.
So I don't want to sound exactly like Pete, but honestly, it's true, right? So for me, Agile, any of the frameworks, any of the tools, anything that you pull out of Agile, not even looking at the mindset and the values, it's like holding up a mirror. And what it often does, and I'm sure everyone here that's been involved in Agile adoptions will have felt this, when you hold up a mirror to leadership, when you hold up a mirror to teams, it can be quite painful. People don't like what they see in the mirror often. And some of the things that Mary was talking about earlier on is really justifiable to that. So, for example, if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not passing my grades. Why am I not passing my grades? This is what's happening. Why am I not passing? If you start applying some Agile mindset, values, the principles to that, you'll hold up the mirror and say, actually, I'm not passing my grades because I'm not studying. I'm not passing my grades because I'm spending all my time doing something else, which I shouldn't really be doing. And for me, it's, as Pete said, you hold up the mirror to leadership, you hold up the mirror to the teams, into organizations, and that's when the conversation starts. Well, how do we get better? How do we use some of the Agile mindsets, the values, the principles to help us get better? Agile is not the goal. We're not here to be Agile, but Agile is the methods to help us. It's the means to get us to our goals, whatever those goals may be.
Thank you so much.
As I said, as everyone's going to say, it's not a silver bullet. It's a very small iterative process, and try and do something small, learn from it, and then move on.
And Abby, over to you.
Okay.
And please pronounce your name correctly so I can learn it and everybody can learn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Avikya, but you can call it Abby, because my friends, they call me Abby, so it's completely fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I completely agree with what Jack and Pete just said, but I'm not going to repeat what they're saying. But I'm going to talk more on the purpose part, because that's where you define your success or your failure. Because until and unless you know your purpose of why you're doing Agile, or what is the outcome that you are expecting from being Agile, or having an Agile transformation in your organization, if that is not drafted properly, then that is something that is going to bring a failure. Just by, let's say, there is a term called zombie Agile, where you just replace your existing structure, like your project management processes, and you just name your project manager as a Scrum Master, or your development team who are actually your project team. So by, you cannot just rename it and become agile, but you need to have a purpose first. Is your purpose being served or not by being agile? And is that the outcome that you're expecting or not? So I think that is one of the key priorities before you start on this journey. Also to add upon, just let's say like what most of the organizations like I've seen have done, and some have failed as well, is they've just hired a coach and left it on the coach to do the needful. So the CEO hires a coach, and it's in his KPI, it's his duty to transform the organization, which is not really what needs to be done until and unless the C-levels, the senior leadership, they are themselves involved and make the organization evolve. So I think that is one of the key areas where one needs to think before starting on becoming agile.
Thank you so much, Avi. Thank you so much. No, Janti, can you just speak to the same question before I ask the next, and I'll ask Sabrina.
Sure, absolutely. I will extend on what Pete, Avi, as well as Jake has said. So I'll give you two instances where for example, if you yourself have started your agile journey, if you become a Scrum Master, it doesn't mean that, okay, you are agile, okay? To be successful or to move forward, you still have to go through that learning curve. You have to experiment what you have learned. You have to start putting it on the field and to your projects and see whether it is working or not, or fine tune it as you move along, right? I have seen at instances at organizations that where I have worked as an enterprise agile coach is the company or the organization wanted them to move towards an agile. I'm just taking a practical experience. And a person started a daily stand-up. So we have a daily Scrum, people call it, some call it hurdles, some call it daily stand-up. And this is one of the ceremonies what you do during Scrum. And the Scrum Master said that, oh, we are all agile now because we did one ceremony and that's what it is. So if you think that way, it's a big failure. You are not even, you just started you just put first step into it, but then we are still not called agile, right? Second thing, at an organization level, I definitely agree with what Abby says is what your leadership wants. So first of all, the normal approach as an enterprise agile coach, what people come up with is the leadership wants you to help them do the transformation. But then my question goes to them, are you all first of all ready as leaders to do the transformation yourself, right? Are you as a leader ready to see the success yourself then to your teams? So the approach is always that the leader calls you in and says, okay, help my team, help my organization. But first of all, are you open with that mindset? Are you ready for a change yourself, before it even flows down? So if a leader is ready for a change, then he himself would take the first step of saying that, okay, let me adapt to the changes. Let me start trusting my team. Let me start empathizing with my customer. So what he feels, so that I can, that can flow down to my teams. And the main thing is, are my team ready as well? And the failure happens is people are all closed minded. They have a fixed mindset. They don't want to go for a change. I'm happy printing 10,000 line of code and then going through each and every line printed and seeing where the error is. Why can't you use different tools to do that instead of, are you ready for a mindset change? And last but not the least, I would say is, this is a beautiful journey on the success part. Believe me, I have worked with the other methodologies in the past, and the success rate, what you would get over here is much more higher compared to anybody else. And once you start using Agile, you need to get Agile in your life as well. And maybe in the next question or next after this thing, I will talk about something on the personal agility side. But believe me, agility can go anywhere and everywhere. Yes. Thank you.
Sabrina, the same question.
So I'll add a little bit of a tweak to it so I don't sound the same as everybody else, but I fully agree with all the panelists. the one thing I advise, and I've worked with a lot of companies, corporations, with a lot of chiefs as well, is as an Agilist, as an Agile coach, as a Scrum Master, always be open and honest, and don't be scared to ask questions. So I've had multiple corporations that have brought me in and immediately said, we want to use Scrum. But we don't necessarily know that Scrum's going to be used. Or as an example, the Spotify method. I get a lot of businesses say, Sabrina, I want you to transform my company and use the Spotify method. And I have to be honest with them and say, this method that Spotify use is a hybrid and tailored to Spotify, to that business. There's elements of that framework, that philosophy that does work, but it won't necessarily work for you. Don't be scared to change things up. Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, the Spotify methods, Lean, all these different methods, you can mix them up and make sure you're getting a better service. And for those Scrum Masters out there that are thinking, you want to transform to be an Agile coach, don't be scared to be constantly learning. I've been an Agile coach for multiple years, for multiple companies, and I'm still learning from multiple individuals. The team that I work with in Agile20Reflect, I'm constantly learning from. But the one thing I'd say is don't be scared. Be open and honest with people. If you're not too sure about something, ask questions, especially when you're running a transformation, or even if you're making a transformation within a team. Speak to them, ask them questions, find out how the roots are, find out how work is coming in, how work comes out. And also don't forget about feelings. Agile is not just a framework, it's about emotions and feelings. Learn about behaviors of people, see how people actually feel. And that's part of being Agile, part of it. And that's just a little different swing of things. But don't be scared to carry on learning, because we are all constantly learning and we don't always know the answers. Being a good Googler actually helps as well.
I love it. Being a good Googler. I call it Google is your best friend. I hope you guys had that. Being a good Googler.
Mercy, I just want to add one thing over here. Everybody has said, just one thing very quickly for anybody and everybody. When we were kids, we never knew how to bicycle. We never knew how to use a bicycle, right? With two tires, without any support. So initially we started with bicycling, like our parents or my father, at least in my case, my father would catch me when I wanted to use without the support tires. And then slowly we started learning. And that is how even Agile works. It's like you start learning slowly. And then as Sabrina said, then you customize your bike because you want to go for the Olympics then, right? And here are the experts who are talking with you from the Olympic point of view, saying that, okay, let's customize the bike the way you want it, the way you want to win that race. Now, if I'm still going to use my bicycle, which I used when I was a kid as a 3-year-old, I'm not going to win the Olympics, right? So just think it in that way, that it's a bicycle, and as you go on aging, as you go on learning, your bicycle goes on changing and becomes more aerodynamic. It becomes more lighter. Your suits goes on changing. The dress, what you wear to drive that bicycle changes. And finally, you're going to win. And we all are going to celebrate along with you at that same time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, that is so powerful, really powerful. I'm going to change the conversation now. But now it's not so much about the Nigerian youth. I think we've covered every basic. We've covered the education sector. We've covered the mindsets. The fresh voices have spoken to the value. Now, one of the key areas I want to speak with regards to the Agile20Reflect. Pete is not an ambassador. I know that Sabrina is leading marketing. I'd like to ask you, when would you be scheduling? Now, this is to Ave and Jansen and Jack. Jack is a regional ambassador. When is your next event so that we can talk about it? So those that want to join your next event, I attended Jack's event last week and it was such an explosive session. I know they have something in the pipeline, the retro. Jack, I really have to be part of that team. Okay, so when is your next event on the Agile20Reflect calendar? Grace just dropped the calendar. Please plug into the calendar. Learntor cohort 1 are locking down 7 events this week. Be on the lookout, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Jack, when is your event, and how many events are you planning to have on the Agile20Reflect for February?
I suppose the question is, how many community events are going to be there from Northern Europe? I expect there's going to be tons. Personally, how many events are we? So we've personally got one event up, which is going to be facilitated by Shane Gallen, who's the Irish ambassador, and he's going to talk about Heart of Agile, which is really, it was developed by Alistair Coburn, who is one of the signatories of the Agile Manifesto, one of the people that created the Agile Manifesto. And the Heart of Agile really takes Agile and simplifies it. So, you know, I think as we've all discussed here, Agile can be very, very complex. There's, I don't want to say hundreds, but there's lots and lots of frameworks, methodologies, skills, and different things, techniques that you can use, and it does confuse people. But with the Heart of Agile, it's really about just taking it back. Talk about the real basics of collaborate, deliver, reflect, improve. And it's really just trying to take it back and have a little look at that. And it's going to be an interactive workshop where people can then take that and then use it as they go into the future. So that's the one event that we've definitely got lined up. I think the retro event will be lined up by Sabrina in that community, but there's obviously going to be lots and lots of communities. I think one of the things I'd probably recommend with Agile20Reflect is look on the calendar, see what's out there. It is global. There's going to be stories from all over the world, and I think it's going to be great to see what Agile means in different countries and different cultures and how it's affected different people in different ways.
Thank you so much. Avi, then I'm going to come to Pete now.
We're planning to have a local meetup probably in the first week of February. So we would be inviting some local speakers, probably 2 or 3 speakers, and we've been working on that. We want to do this we want this event to be local because we've done regional Scrum gatherings in the past. We've done it in Nepal for 3 consecutive years now. But again, we also want to promote the local youths in Nepal. And considering that, we're not inviting any international speakers or anyone outside of Nepal as of now, but we're trying to do it locally. However, anyone can join this. We'll be publishing the event in the calendar, and everybody is welcome to join and encourage the speakers.
Thank you so much. And Johnson.
We have number of events happening. So starting from January onwards, and we all are in North America, I would say, because I do Canada does fall under North America. So we are having multiple events happening. I myself personally am speaking in more than 10 odd events, which I know on meetups. So so it's the, and again, thanks to Morsi and Grace and the team, they have got people getting excited and connecting with a lot of folks over here. But believe me, even in Toronto or across Canada, we are having multiple events. So it's going to be really difficult managing at times, because the way they have, Morsi, you guys have spread out things to us. It's like, okay, where should I go? What should I attend? Where should I speak? And where should I not speak? So it's blowing over here. Believe me, it's just blowing like a volcano over here. And again, guys, please look out for the calendars. If you feel, do connect with me offline, or even I would advise for people to learn is to go and be part of these meetups wherever they are happening, or the topics which are very interesting to you. And this is how we also learned. Even I learned the same way, like, connecting with people.
Okay, so Pete, I'm going to ask you a different question because you are not an ambassador, right? So the youth here, they're still a bit discombobulated. Tolu and Rashid, they like me using the word, so I have to find a way to infuse it, right? So they're not sure where to start from. What would be your advice to them?
My advice is start anyway. Start anyway. So nobody knows. If you know, you will not be learning. It's an opportunity. So I look at when I'm confused, when I don't know what to do, the best thing to do is just to launch in anyway. We're still like, well, what's the unknown? Where do I start from? I remember, I'll give you this instance, right? I was working for one in fact, the top telecoms company right there in Lagos in 2008. and I knew something was really coming up. I was hearing it. And right there in the office in Ikoyi, I was reading, I was preparing myself for my very, very first, Agile training or certification. And I could see the program manager I was working with at that point in time come to me and say, "What are you reading? Agile, right? Oh, I've read about it." Everybody around me said, "Yep, I've heard about it." Do I know what I was doing? No, I was just really curious. There was no internet I could have, so I have to utilize my lunchtime. I had to stay back in the office. I had to do a lot of things myself to prepare myself. Now, that singular act made me to be one of the sought after coaches here, not only in Australia, but even in Nigeria, around the world. People on this call have opportunity to collaborate with them. Mary, Mercy, Jatin is my connection. What I did now is just to look at the expert I'm talking with today, and I quickly check my LinkedIn profile, and almost everyone is already connected. Why? Because I started in 2008, 2009. If you don't know where to start anyway. Now, what do? The help that you need is a call away, is a connection away. It is a table away from you. It is a, maybe a bus away. If you don't seek, you don't know. So you try to seek. I am part of a very vibrant community in Australia here in Melbourne, and I'm very lucky about that. Now, if I don't seek the community, I will not improve. Every Tuesday morning, for as long as I know I am part of a link coffee meeting. Why do I keep going there? Because every hour I spend with these amazing guys, right, I come back a better person. If I have a dirty problem, as experienced as I am, there are things that will come and work, and I would not know how to work on it. I'll not know what to do. I'll take it to the link coffee meeting in 5 minutes. It's either someone has worked on that problem before and given me what he did, or someone is saying, "Well, if I were in your shoes, this is what I will do. I've not done it before." Or someone is saying, "Well, I read somewhere. This is what data is saying. These are the insights I've gathered it before." Well, I am going through the same thing with you. And so we need to come together and work on it. So start from where you are and don't stop learning. We talk about Agile as an opportunity to continuously improve. How can you improve if you don't put yourself out there? So no matter the level you are, a rookie, you don't know where to start anyway, and keep, asking, keep seeking. If you go to Mercy, if she couldn't help you, she will tell you go to Jatin. Jatin is an expert there. Jatin will say, "Oh, yeah, this is my 2 cents." But if you talk to Mary, Mary is going to help you more. Mary can say, "Well, this is what I did, but Pete, I know of this guy. Can you take him through?" I do that every time. Everybody on this call that are expert do that every time. And guess what? Every time you do that, you become better. I'll end with this. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. So take the step.
You are. Thank you. That's always what I say, and that is so powerful. So Sabrina, I'm going to ask you a different question. We have ambassadors here present. How is marketing going to support them? Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I can add to that. So here within the marketing team, we're here to help you support to get your events out there onto social media. If you need any help when it comes to organizing items, being able to speak to other communities, conversation, communication. To be honest, we're a helpful bunch anyway within marketing. We all want to get involved in anything. So any help you actually need, just give us all a shout. And if you want, well, you guys got access to our Slack channel, just direct Slack me. But every member of the team, everyone says I lead the team. I don't believe I lead the team. We all lead ourselves together. We all work very closely together. We all help each other. So anything that we can actually do to help, And hopefully you should see our faces. We like to stay in the background sometimes, but sometimes we come out. So whatever we can do to help.
Thank you so much. I think today has been a beautiful session. Rashid, you wanted to ask a question before I call Iyabo to do the vote of thanks. What's the question? Does anybody have a question for any of the panelists? And I'll spotlight them. Yeah.
Yeah, my question, and Miss Lani has left. I would have loved to ask her a question, but Sabrina said something, and she said, "Don't be scared to ask questions." For me, where I work, where I currently
Mary's here. Mary's here. Mary's here.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I have this question for Sabrina. Probably because we're still growing. This is your position that don't be scared to ask questions. There are a lot of people that ask questions that put them into trouble, and it's not as if the question was actually bad. They are constructive question, but when your agile way of working puts everybody at par, but that this hierarchical nature of our system has really made it a bit difficult. So what do you have for someone working in this part of the world? How can we find, because when you said, okay, don't be scared, and you talk and it puts you to trouble, and you are not sure where the next job is coming from, that's my question for you. Then for Mary, status quo has constituted strong impediments to creativity and innovation in business world today. How can we mitigate this?
I mean, the way that I see it is, just to give you guys a background. So I'm actually an ex-networks engineer. So I've transitioned from being a networks engineer into the Agile coaching side. And the one thing I've learned is when it comes to asking questions and who you're asking a question to, treat them like a normal person, no matter what level they are within the business. Everyone relates to open and honest people. So if there's something you don't know about, be open and honest and say you don't know about, but show that you're willing to learn, and don't be scared, no matter what level somebody is within a business or what level somebody is as a person. Relate to people as people. I've worked with people that are high up to the extent that they are multimillionaires and they own the business and everything. And I've worked with people that are the same as me, and I treat them exactly the same. So when I say don't have a fear, we've all got strong points and we've all got points that we're not very strong about, and don't be scared to show it, and bring that out in your questions, and make sure another thing is, I always say when it comes to asking people questions is think about what you're asking, but also think about what you want to get out of the question. Don't just ask a question. So if I'm going to ask a question of, where do you live, as an example, the reason why I'm asking where you live is because I'm interested in where you live, and I'm interested in your culture, and I'm interested in you. So there's information that I require to get back from you. So when it comes to a business sense, when you're asking someone a question about something, either internally, business as an example, give them the reason why you're asking the question and what you're going to use that information for and how that's going to benefit as well. And don't be scared to show that. Does that answer your question? You can catch up with me offline as well if you want a further conversation. I don't mind.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. So,
and your second question was directed to me, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Status
okay. And you're talking about how that becomes an impediment to creativity, and of course it is. Now, as we all know, Agile will bring up your dysfunctions as an organization.
It will.
So when you are within an organization where people have their own personal agenda, then definitely they will resist Agile as a way of working. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things we have talked about as Agilists promoting Agile, in Africa, is we do know that we will have this pushback in terms of culture and, everything else within the environment. We do know that. But in order for you to, should I say, create awareness about Agile, if within your own space, I don't know what your structure is like, if you have the power within your own influence, I would say start influencing the people around you. because there isn't much you can do with the leadership if that is the problem you're having with the status quo. So no problem. Work with the people around you, get them to begin to understand what it means to be agile, okay, and to work the agile way. When the results start to show, so imagine you're in a marketing department or you're in sales, and we can begin to see concrete deliverables, concrete outcomes because of that new way of working that you are encouraging within your sphere of influence. Before long, trust me, they'll come to you and start asking you, hey, what's happening here, Rashid? They will come to you and ask you. And when they then come to you and ask you, that is then your opportunity to say, actually, this is what's been happening. This is what we've been doing. And we're doing this because this is what the environment is saying. It's a VUCA world out there. We need to be much more responsive. We need to be innovative. And that's what we've just been trying to do in our own little way. You know, you have to be smart about these things. You know, in Africa, they say if you want to catch a monkey, you behave like a monkey, right? So that's my advice to you. You want to catch a monkey, you behave like a monkey.
Behave like a monkey.
You give them the results. You show them this is the outcome of what you can get. Because you see, it is terrible that we employ people and then we want to treat them like robots. It is terrible. And that is still happening globally, not just in Africa. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
So before we go, I think Janty wants to add, then I'll take Pete and we have to call it a night. Then Yabo will do the vote of thanks. Okay, Janty, over to you.
Thank you very much. I just want to add one thing over here for everybody. People think of a misconception is saying that, okay, Agile is only for development or application development, or it's only for IT. But then that is a misconception. Agile can go not only in your personal life as a personal agility systems which are there, but you can use Agile on the HR side. You can use Agile even on the auditing side. And I have done that in the past. So again, for anybody over here who think that, okay, Agile is for product development or Agile is only for software development, or I can use something else, any product, any kind of a development thing, then, okay, that's not the truth. I have implemented transform organizations like Manulife, again a Fortune 500 company, or John Hancock, which is based out of US, wherein I have focused on the transformation purely from an audit perspective. So audit services are there. They have HR as a service. So again, they have gone through and they are all Agile now. It's not that they are doing any software development on that or any product development. And last but not the least, I want to add is even on your personal life, you can use Agile. Right? So have you all thought ever in your life saying that forget work, okay, let's say your Saturday and Sunday is there, and have you all thought that as a husband or a wife, somebody tells you to do 10 things and we start everything but we don't finish it? Yeah, same thing what Padmini was saying, that stop starting and start finishing. So let's say my wife comes and tells me 10 things to do, and I will start 2 things and I will then relax, sit. But am I finishing those things? Am I tracking those items? Am I tracking my personal development on the Agile side? Am I tracking, have I moved forward in terms of the training which I have done? Am I tracking myself as to where I want to be? So what really matters to me, for example, like as Mercy and Pete and everybody says that, okay, we want to do training, but then what kind of training matters to me? Does Kanban matters to me? Does Scrum matters to me? And on top of that, okay, both, let's say an example is both of them matters to me, but then what is my priority right now? Do I want to move on the Scrum side right now, or do I want to focus on Kanban, or want to go like a mouse everywhere, you know, and eat small bits and pieces here and there and try to come up with my stuff? So you need to be sure about, one is on your personal agility side is what really matters to you. What are your priorities? Are you tracking those priorities? Is your GPS system on that you are moving forward and, you know, it's not getting, I would say, are you moving forward on your personal life path? Or is it that I'm just doing, at work, I'm using Scrum, but in my personal life, I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing the way things are. Saturday, Sunday, I'm just relaxing, not doing anything career-wise. Okay, I got a thought that, okay, I want to join Mercy is a training session which is happening. I want to be there. But then if you keep a personal agility system on, you keep tracking it, believe me, you will reach where you want to reach. And it will be able to guide you as well, saying that, oh, you're on track or you're going offline. Okay, I need to start on my GPS to see whether I'm on track again, and and continue. And there are people like Mercy has got all of us here together. Like this is something big happening. You have P coming from Australia, you see me coming from Canada, you see Abby coming from Nepal. So it's like it's a global community now over here who are there to help you. And if I want to move forward, if I don't keep my personal agility on, then it's like I'm going to get lost in this world. Believe me, there are so many things you can do on Agile, and so many things can be done in Agile. But then how do you go forward? And that's where you connect with people. And this is where your personal agility comes in. Okay, can I connect with P in Australia and see, okay, what's happening over there? Can I learn something from him? So that is what one of my priorities would be. But if I don't have personal agility, it's like, okay, I don't want to connect with anybody. I'm doing fine with whatever I have. Okay, it's not going to help you then. This is what I want to say. So be open, guys. We are here to help. Mercy and Grace are doing fantastic job over here. And I'm so honored to be here again and speaking about it. Thank you very much.
And just to add on, I'll just take like 20 seconds, Mercy. Yeah, I completely agree with Jatin, because even I have been using the personal agility system for probably 2 years or so. And I am a great fan of this. And especially I use this with my husband. As you mentioned that you can use it with your spouse as well. And it really works. The moment things are there in your to-do list, I mean, it's there visually, and they really get executed. And especially for people like us, where both of us are working and you have a kid to look after, you need to prioritize your work as well as your time with your kid, right? So this is one of the tools that really helps you prioritize your goal and understand what matters to you and what are things that's urgent and what are things that's important. So yeah, completely agree. Thank you.
And Pete, then I'll come to Jack, I'll come to Sunil, then we call it a night. So you can let me words. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's it. Agile works for everyone. Everyone. I used Agile in 2009 to plan my wedding, and I went there as a guest. When you appear as a guest, nothing matters because everything is sorted. So that's fine. And I continue to do it because it works. Now, I just wanted to add to a little bit to what Rashid asked. Because I'm Nigerian, I'm Australian as well. So I've got a heart of Nigeria and another part of me Australian. Now, one of the golden advice that's talking to your first question, one of the golden advice one of my mentors told me and gave me was choose your battles, right? Choose your battles right. You need to choose your battle. If you know you are going to get burnt, choose your battle, because you don't want to say something and then you lose that job or you lose the opportunity, right, to help an immature leader, right? There is an opportunity in the future waiting for you. So if you need to wait for the appropriate time. Everybody on this call, every enterprise leader, enterprise agile coach here will let you know that there are still leaders in our organizations. Someone is having yeah, there are still leaders in our organization that we're still trying to take to our side. We are waiting for a good time. That said, the opportunity will come someday. So keep looking for that. And that is why we are experts to look at what do we do? Do we allow them to fail a little? And then we can say, oh, this is an opportunity. We use their failure as an opportunity for them to improve. That's number one. Sometimes you need to come on, guy, I will hold your hand, work with me, do as I do. Sometimes you need to say, well, you keep showing up until a time when you are going to say, this is where sometimes you need to train, sit down in the classroom or use virtual and say, this is the practice. And sometimes you need to be the expert, do it. That's what we do, show and tell. This is how I'll do it, and then learn from it. So that's your first question. Choose your battles right and learn that very well. Number two, the status quo. It is the same problem everywhere. We are everywhere. But how do I look at that? It is an opportunity for me to have a job. If everybody changes, then the world is perfect. The problem is there is no perfect world. And so the more we see those people that are restricting, is an opportunity for me. It's an opportunity for you, Rashid. It's an opportunity for Mercy. It's an opportunity for Unyidamola, whoever is on this call, to effect that change. So see it that way, that if it's only one person you can take on that journey, that's success for you. If it's 2 people, that's success for you. If it's 1,000 people, success for you. Thank you.
For Learntor cohort 1, we had 68 registration. We had 19 people that paid up. And for me, this 19, it's more than the 500 and something people, because it will metamorphose, and that's the one. Just focus on what you can do. Start and finish. We started with cohort 1 and we finished. So thank you for that. And so Jack, what would you like to add? Then Sunil, then Iyabo, I'll call on you. I'm sorry for taking you, but I think these are invaluable lessons. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I won't talk for too long. I think just to echo some of the things that have been said, you know, one of the key things is you need to be on the pitch to play. So as Pete said, you know, don't, you know, be on the pitch. You might have to conform to certain things, but know what your goal is and know how you're going to get there. You know, don't wait for the opportunity to rise to you. You know, as some people have said, use it in your personal life if you can. If you use it in your personal life, that's a story that you can then tell. For example, I built a kids' play area for my daughter. I built it in a very agile way. I can use that story. I can tell that story. You can do that in your own personal life. Build up the skills. If you want to be a Scrum Master, do it. You know, do it for yourself and see how it works and see if you can actually get it on there. And the last thing that a lot of people have already said, but you know, use the community to help yourself grow. Exactly. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You know, there's a lot of great people on this call, incredible experts, and use that community to grow. Reach out to people. You can't be humanly, and then someone reaches out to you and you say no. That doesn't happen in the Agile community. It's a case of you reach out to someone, they'll help you. If they can't help you, they'll find someone that can help you. And just use that, and use the fact that Agile20Reflect is coming up to really expand your knowledge, expand your network, see what's out there. You know, make the opportunities for yourself rather than sitting there and waiting. I think that's all I've got to say though.
Succinct, very powerful. And one of the opportunities talking about Learntor cohort 2 starts January 4th. Please be on the lookout and join this global family. I can't even remember the way Talisha said it. Cohort 2, it's burning, it's in the cooler. Sunil. And he's going to be one of our facilitators. He's been saying, Mercy, I need to be part of cohort 2. So.
Thanks, Mercy, thanks. And just to say, guys, I believe Jack said very well. Craft your goal, right? And goal can be like different level of goals. How I do generally, basically from the starting, I've been a boxing player basically, and I created a big goal that I'm to achieve this. Right, that become my North Star. And then we need to create strategic goal, different strategic goal. This will take me to this step, then I stand over there, look toward the next strategic goal, and so on. So create 2 types of goal, which is your long-term goal and your short-term goal. Short-term goal will prove your hypothesis that either your goal need to be adapted or you need to adapt your approach. Continuously look out for your goal as well as how you are traveling toward that goal. To craft your strategic goal, your tactical goals, and go ahead for that. If your goal doesn't inspire you, change your goal then, right? Make a goal which make you wake up day night, right? So that is what I will say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This video is on Learntor YouTube channel. Please go and watch it. That's all I can say. And Iyabo, I'd like to call you to say a vote of thanks. Cohort 1, please stay behind.
Class.
Hello? Iyabo, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Iyabo. just to say thank you to the host of speakers that we've had tonight. We've had Mary, Sabrina, Sunil, Padmini, Jatin, Pete, Abir, Jack. I don't know, I must have missed some. And then our own cohort people from the first cohort, Rashid, Oyedamola, Talisha, Rosemary, great set of people. And just to say thank you. And this has been a particularly interesting session. I hope the youth that were on call have picked up the numerous nuggets that have been dropped tonight. I mean, Mary has told you, the question is, are you raising leaders or followers? We've had focus, adapt to change, stop starting, start finishing. There's so many things. And one thing that struck a chord for me, for the youth, that Mary said, was in terms of self-directing as youth. So you are in a situation where even in your class, you're supposed to self-direct, and that is the essence of Agile. So it's been a great time for all of us listening to all you've all had to say. I thank you all, cohort 1. It's been amazing watching your growth, and seeing you talk here so fluently about Agile is really mind-blowing. I mean, 3 months, this is absolutely fantastic. Well done to you guys. And I just hope that all those who are here understand the fact that Agile is actually a lifestyle, a mindset. We've heard Pete and I think Abir talking about how they use Agile personally in their private lives. And it's basically just a mindset, a lifestyle, something you adapt to, something you use on a daily basis. Obviously, Agile is not the answer to everything, but as someone said earlier on, it's key that you know exactly what you want to achieve before you adopt Agile. And then when you know whether it fits into your way or your means or your goals in delivering, then obviously it's something you adopt and adapt to. So change is what? Change, we're always moving, we're never stationary. And as Nigeria learns and hopefully moves more into this Agile mindset, maybe would be more primed and focused to deliver more customer centricity and please our customers more, which is one of the goals of Agile. So thanks once again to everybody that has been here today. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome time listening to everyone. And I hope you've gotten and gained so much knowledge from this. Thanks to Mercy, the, what should I say, propagator, the sole proponent of Agile. I mean, she started this, her journey with Learntor quite a while back. No, not, well, can I say quite a while back? Last year. And she's grown marvelously and she's heading somewhere nobody knows. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for honoring her invitation. Thank you very much, everyone that has attended this call, and do have a good evening. Thank you so much.
And I'd like Harry to say a word. I would be so rude if I don't get Harry to say was one of our facilitators. You heard the student mention his name a few times. Harry, are you there? You're in a good place to say something before I call it a night. We'll wrap up in the next. I'm so sorry that I took extra 30 minutes of your time, but we're done. Although I'll play some music. Harry, are you there? Anyway, overall, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for making this a success. Can I do a quick selfie, everybody? Selfie. If we can turn on our camera, but it's not under compulsion, you don't have to. I just want everybody to just be visible. Let's just do a quick selfie.
Yeah, hi, Messi. I'm here. Sorry, I wasn't well.
Okay.
Struggling to unmute myself.
You can keep talking while I do my selfie. Okay.
Hello, guys. I want to thank you all for joining. I've been in the background quietly listening. I've been around Agile. I wouldn't say I'm a professional Agile like you guys, but I'm still in that field. And I'm so grateful for the cohort 1 guys. I mean, like what Yabo said, what you guys have learned in the last 3 months is awesome. I'm saying, in fact, once you guys talk, I just laugh. Remember the first time someone was saying, I'm lost, I'm that. But it's you guys that are now telling us what to do. And also want to thank the invitee, Mary, and the rest. Sorry, Pete. Like if I miss your name, my apologies. Thank you all, guys, for honoring the invitation. We still have a long way to go. We'll be seeing you guys in the future.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really sincerely appreciate all the guests. I see Kemi Raji is on call. I want to say, Noel, thank you. Noel Brigg, thank you so much. Asmuk, thank you so much for honoring us. I really appreciate it. Olubusala, thank you so much. If I didn't call your name, it's not intentional. Mary, Pete, I know it's very late. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And my Spanish person that joined was one of the first people that came. Harare from Peru. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest. Jantin, thank you. Most of the things that I've taken today, I'm being interviewed by one of the #1 newspaper publication tomorrow. So this is some of it, I'm going to drop the snippets and I'll give you guys credit as much as I can. I really want to say thank you. Thank you so much for honoring us. Thank you. And be on the lookout for Cohort 1 event. It will be loading up and it's cooking. So Cohort 1, please, I'd like you to switch over to the next meeting, to the next link. I'll drop it for you on your WhatsApp. Let's quickly have a 30-minute brainstorming on your event so that we can schedule. So thank you. It's been a great fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I can say.
Keep smiling.